in an age and a half. Ugh. Well, actually, it's been like a month since you last played in this game, isn't it?
It's about 3 weeks.
Fucking hell.
Yeah, I don't even know what's going on anymore.
1 second.
It's strange. I love watching the other groups all get in about the same time.
Yeah.
Just see it all just fill up. Yeah.
Not for long though. You won't see it.
Because we're going to be going on a different
Sundays.
day.
Yeah.
This is our last Monday game.
Wah, wah.
But it also means that if like you guys want to join a Monday session and a session opens up, you got a Monday session to join.
I mean, I need to cut down on my D&D. I went a bit overboard during lockdown.
Wait. That does not compute. That just doesn't compute, mate. What?
Yeah, I have a lot of games on right now.
How many?
I have a game Monday night, I have a game Wednesday night, Thursday night, Friday night, and every other Sunday.
Holy shit.
Shit.
And
how many of them do you play? How many of them are you DMing?
Okay, and there's also, I also DM, so I DM 2. So there's also another game that I DM that is quite irregular because it's homebrew and I'm terrible at homebrews. So I play in 4. Yeah. Oh yeah, and then there's the one with Nina's sisters and brothers. So I DM 3 games and I play in 4.
Damn, I literally, this is the only group I'm involved in at the minute.
Same.
I thought I was taking it overboard by having like 2.5 games that I GM for.
Well, I was on furlough for 3 months, so I literally just started loads of games. And now I'm slowly having to kind of about this game. Don't think I
just realised that I have to work every day.
Oh, sorry, you're all TPK'd.
Oh, sorry guys. See you when the next pandemic happens. Right, let's sort this out.
Don't jinx it. 2020 is still going.
Yeah, I mean, is this the last year? Is there going to be a 2021? Fucking hope not.
Yeah. I thought. So 2020, overall, pretty bad year. Personally, very bad year as well. And yesterday, I was like, you know what? I need a bit of time. I'm going to book myself a holiday. I'm going to go on holiday somewhere quiet. There was not going to be loads of tourists. Definitely not any kids. That sort of thing. Just take a chill pill. Booked it. Sorted everything out. Got accommodation. Got flights. Woke up to the exciting news that Croatia is now going to be added to the list of places that Britons are not allowed to travel.
Yeah. Do you know the best thing is as well? So this girl that I manage at work, we said to her like 5 weeks ago that if she books a holiday and it's on the quarantine list, then she's on non-paid leave for 2 weeks. Mm-hmm. I guess where she's booked and where she flew out to yesterday.
Croatia?
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah.
And do you know what? Like, part of me is really upset because I've got 2 weeks without this person, and like it's difficult to kind of do stuff. But then part of me is really happy because this whole fucking time she's been saying to me like, "Oh, but like you'll be fine, won't it?" And I said, "Well, for the sake of not going on holiday for 1 fucking year, do you know what I mean? Just go somewhere in the UK."
That's what my plan was, and I am doing that. But I wanted, because I was under the impression that I was going on holiday in the UK for 2 weeks. Turns out I'm only going for 1, so now I've got 2 weeks booked off work, and I don't want to just spend the second week sat around twiddling my thumbs. So I thought I'll do something exciting. I haven't been somewhere hot in years, so I'll do something fun and exciting. Nope.
Come and crash here. I'll put the heating on.
Do you have an outdoor pool?
I've got a bath.
Do you have, and now forgive me for being crude, but lots of single Croatian women?
I can hire some.
Right, what's your address again? I'll be down in a couple of hours. Okay, right, where were we? So, end of last session. You had defeated the strange. The wizard in red, as he had been known, the man in red who was taking refuge in the shattered tower just south of Gravesford. You spoke to him for some time before realizing, oh, this dude just likes zombies and stuff. Swiftly dealt with him, looted the place. I believe you got some magical items, if I'm not mistaken. I believe one was for Honu, and there were some potions and scrolls and that sort of thing. And you returned to Gravesford on the day of market day, essentially. Spoke to Pinner. She identified the items for you, and then you were summoned by your friend Ulbricht to see what the next possible locations for you to attend were. He notified you of two serious locations that he believes the goblins could be originating from. He cross-referenced. He is under the impression, as he is right to do so, that there is the goblins. They're not very good at building their own houses. They're not very good at mining places out or making fortresses. So what they tend to do is just take up ones that have been abandoned. He found upon researching the local area, speaking to Pinner and his own personal knowledge, found out that, well, the goblin cave that you found him in was an ancient dwarven stronghold. And so he figured there are probably more ancient dwarven strongholds that they're inhabiting, and has marked the two most important ones, or two most likely ones on your map. One of which is to the northwest of you. He said it's probably the best idea to go to first, because the one further northwest of that is probably a little bit sketchy. And it's less set in stone, and also it's a pretty dangerous travel up there anyway, because you have to spend quite some time either trekking through open fields in Goblin territory or through the mountains, which again is not the safest of places. You decide to saddle up, but not before Astrid was approached by a halfling man who requested that maybe in future you just double check if anyone else is being contracted to kill anyone before you go and kill them. Seemed rather personally upset about the fact that the man in red was dead and it wasn't by his hand. And then you were told to meet him by, I believe it was meet him by the town well on the night of the new moon when it is darkest. You would know that is in some days' time, so you have a little bit of leeway. But until then, you're saddled up. It is early enough in the morning. You are ready to depart. Is there anything you guys want to do before you head out towards your destination?
What time are we going? Are we going in the morning, or are we going?
I figured morning, but you are more than welcome not to, if you so desire.
When did that guy say tomorrow? Or...
Did he say tomorrow?
I don't know. I don't remember. It's been a while.
So let me check my notes very quick, because I may have gotten confused what I said in real life and what I said in my head. Oh, fuck me sideways. It is tonight. So, the Ulbricht explains all this to you, says, yes, you shall leave tomorrow morning. Astrid, you go, okay, sweet, I don't have to make up an excuse. And night falls, nothing too interesting happens. It's a relatively sleepy evening. Mood is notably higher than it has been in recent days, largely thanks to the market day bringing new people in. There have been some bards travelling around town, singing songs, telling tales, and spreading the good word of Lord Saxton. And you are, as night falls, people start going to bed, you have dinner, blah, blah, blah. It gets darker. Astrid, I assume you're going to head out?
She would probably scouted around the area first and found somewhere to keep watch and make sure that no one else comes along.
Okay, yeah. So, let's see. The place you are... very low resolution. There we go. So, the well, because it's not actually on the map, very helpful, is... Oh, watch this. Pro Roll20 user. There.
Okay.
Oh, now I've made a square as well. Fuck. There you go. There. So you can... Probably the best place for like a keep an eye out is probably in the stable lodge itself. It's only a one-story building. There is a large courtyard and then a circular sort of office space, essentially, and storeroom. But you wager if you were able to either find a way in and like keep yourself in there, or if you were able to go to like get on the roof, that is probably those two places are the best locations if you wanted to do like a stakeout.
Ellie, have you relayed this to the rest of the group?
I'd have probably said I was going out for a bit, but I wouldn't have said where.
Okay, that's fine then.
You are.
Gonna...
I think this would be the first time that you've left in the middle of the night because you've done fishing in the past, so you could probably pass it off as, oh, I'm just going to go fishing for the evening. Earlier you get there and that sort of thing.
I'm gonna try and get on top of the roof.
Okay, cool. Make a. We'll say acrobatics. Why not? It's hard work. You get up there. You do get up there. You don't fall off and break your leg or anything. But when you're up there, it took maybe a little bit longer than you would have liked. And it has tired you out a little bit. You get a bit of a sweat on. But thankfully, you're up there for. How far in advance would you say you were going to get there?
Probably.
It's happening exactly midnight.
I'd probably get there for about 10 o'clock and then stay there low to the thing as I could for like 2 hours.
Okay. You, no problem. You stay up there for 1 hour, hour and a half. Make a perception check. Okay. You see one individual. Does not appear to be the person that you spoke to earlier. He was a halfling, the one that you spoke to. This appears to be more human in size, approximately. Strolls over to the well, seemingly drunk. He's staggering a little bit. He leans, puts one hand on the well, you see him visibly take a very deep breath in, and then he looks to his left, looks to his right, and just jumps in. If you'd blinked, you would have missed it.
Oh, I'm following that. I'll go down and I'll look into the well to see what's going on.
Okay. You creep down. Make a stealth check.
Oh, for fuck's sake.
You creep up to the edge of the well, look over the side. You don't see anything down there, per se. But what you do hear is, I was wondering when you'd join me. And stood behind you is a rather, not sheepish, but, like he's been caught red-handed, halfling man, stood beside you wearing all black, like matte clothing.
Do I recognise them as the person from before? Or?
Yes, indeed. It's hard to tell because it is quite dark, and he appears to have. There's something about his face. He's got like a different demeanor about him, but it is definitely the same person. Yeah.
Are you of the sort that likes jumping into wells too, or?
Well, it's a funny. It's not something I enjoy doing per se, but it's a necessity. Shall we? And he motions to the well and basically has to, because he's so short, has to put his hands up on the side and scrabble up the side of it and then sit on top and swing his legs over.
You first.
See you in a second, and he down the well.
I'll follow.
Okay, you drop for 10, 15, 20 feet, until you feel yourself not hit water, you hit a net. Like, and it catches you, and it's made of this very fine, soft, silken rope, so that as it catches you, it obviously bows a little bit and just makes no noise, and it stops, and you see it levels out, and essentially like rigging above the top, like across the body of the well, and beside it there is a hole in the wall that the halfling man is stood inside, and he motions with his head and walks down a tunnel. You look down and you see the surface of the water probably about 1 or 2 feet below where this rope net is set up.
Okay, I'll follow along.
Okay, cool. You duck in. You see immediately that this tunnel is man-made. There's not a natural formation of any kind of, it's like the water has run in a certain way or dripped in a certain way and caused this erosion. It is clearly and pointedly designed for your use. It's a bit cramped, but as you step in, someone steps out of the darkness and closes a panel behind you, and you hear like the sound of a winch, almost, or a reel, like something being reeled in. And you traverse down this tunnel for a little while in just complete darkness. You see in front of you, because he is a halfling, he doesn't have incredible sight in darkness. I believe halflings don't actually have dark vision. So you see he bumps into a wall every now and again, or like he'll trip over something and like sort of, stop for a second, center himself. But eventually you get to the end of this corridor after a minute or two, and he comes to a wooden wall. He taps Shiv and a haircut 2 bits, and the door swings open. And you see on the other side there is a relatively small room, probably 30 by 30 feet, and there's a couple of doors going off, but no, like, it's not open plan in any sense. It's just like a very plain room. There are 3 tables set up. There's 2 like large tables and 1 very small table up what you would consider the head of the room. There are only 3 or 4 people in here, just sort of lounging around. 2 are chatting to one another, and these other 2 are just sat by themselves. One of them appears to be writing something like on a piece of parchment with it in quill, and the other one is just maybe fallen asleep. He's got his hat over his eyes. All of them are wearing similar outfits to what you and this halfling would wear. You recognize the man who's doing the writing as the person who you saw, quote unquote, drunk, falling into the well not just a moment ago. He motions to a free table, says, if you wouldn't mind, and sits down.
I'll sit across from him.
So, Astrid, you understand. I think it should be fairly obvious to anyone who's paying half attention by this point that this isn't your normal well. I represent is a strong term. I was wondering, we have need of people of your particular set of talents. I have need of your particular set of talents, more specifically.
I'm listening.
As you can tell, and he sort of like looks around the room, and you see just like a room that could probably fit like 24 people has 4 or 5, I guess. And he says, "We're in short supply of people at the moment. This is a newer outpost, but it's normally business isn't this slow, shall we say?" And he sort of like points over to the guy who's clearly asleep. That's not normal. I have a proposition for you. things are going on in this world that we would rather be on top of, let's say. We would rather be on the knowing side of things. We'd rather be on the winning side of things. And we feel as though the best way to be on the winning side is to help the people who are trying to win and deserve to. We are a free enterprise. We are not beholden to any lord, king, or god. We are beholden to ourselves and, the person who may have recruited us or someone higher up in our little miniature tower, if you will. And we believe that the rule of the Drassigs is it's not conducive to a helpful business environment. It's hard to get things done when, well, as a spy, assassins, and thieves guild, allegedly, there are already crown-sanctioned spies, assassins, and thieves guilds. People who would make money from it are the ones that are already the king's best friend, and let's just say we are not those people. What I am asking of you is two things. Deliver a package and gather some information. And he pulls out a letter from inside his like, not jacket, but he's got this like dark overcoat. He pulls out a letter. It looks like quite padded, like there's a lot of pieces of paper in there. And he hands it over to you and says, we are after this is conducive to a contract, let's say, that we have with some individuals who are not too happy about the current leadership of Guisar. And just wondering how much it would be worth to you if you were able to deliver this for me. I am rather busy. My wife doesn't know that I'm not in bed at the moment. So I would greatly appreciate it if you could deliver this for us. It needs to go to Tarleton. It's not too far. And I understand you're leaving town soon enough anyway, and that you might be headed up there. From what I've overheard, you might be headed in that general direction sometime soon. We need this dropped off. If that's all right.
How soon do you need it dropped off?
It's not particularly a matter of urgency, but the faster the delivery happens, the more happy we can make our client. Within 2 weeks would be minimum. We're willing to have it take a little bit longer so as to avoid the busy hands of royal couriers.
Right. And by doing this, I'd be entering your little tea party here, yes?
Well, if you don't want to, then I will take back the package, and we can pretend this never happened.
Did not say that. Okay.
Then yes, by completing this mission, you would be acknowledging and accepting of your induction into our little family.
All right.
And to be clear, it's not just us. There's a lot more interesting people in a lot more interesting places. This is rather the backside of the organisation.
This is where some things get done, though, which will be useful. Okay. I can take that. Are you expecting something in return, or do you want this just to be sent?
Well, I would ask that you drop this off at the location required. In Tarleton, you will find a weaponsmith. I shall not say the name. I'll leave it as part of your, we'll say, initiation training, perhaps, that you can find which business it might be. We ask that you go there, deliver this, leave it with the man on the door. Not man on the door, man behind the counter. Make sure that he sees the wax stamp. You will hear him say something to the effect of, "Moon looks great tonight." You will reply, "It would look better on any night just as this." Yeah, I know it's a bit old-fashioned, but... And then we ask you to carry out a bit of surveillance. The Lord Saxton. He is a troublesome individual. He has many fingers and many pies. We understand that he is in the pocket of Neminar Drassic. I don't think that should be a surprise to you or anyone else. What we would ask of you is not to follow him. It's a bold assumption to think that you could get away with that. Not to follow him, not the slightest. However, we are interested in his court wizard. A man... We don't even have his name. Very mysterious individual. Creepy. Not a fan of him. All we need is to know what happens, where he goes when he's not at court. When he's not at the Baron's court. That would be more than enough that we can get the ball rolling. We already have some routes, we already have some links. I'm not going to divulge all of it to you at the moment. All I ask is that you keep tabs on this man. Find out where he goes when he's not at work. Come back here. When you're next in town, I shall approach you. If not, find me here at night. And we shall, convene and see if we have any other jobs for you afterwards.
Wonderful.
And while you're in Tarleton, and if someone of our organisation does happen to bump into you, if they offer you a job, absolutely feel free to accept. Just make sure that they're the real deal first. Wouldn't want any imposters getting you in any trouble.
And it would just be the moon looks great tonight to confirm?
Yes, he will say the moon looks great tonight. It will probably be daytime when he says so. You say, it looks just as good on any other night.
And that is a general thing known by this organisation, yes?
That's our typical dead drop phrase. If you were to say that to a member of the, I suppose let's ditch the formalities. The Pierced Moon, and he shows you the clasp of his cloak that he's got on, and it is quite stylized to look like one half being a rapier and the other half being a crescent moon. They are it's called the Pierced Moon, so it's the rapier going through the moon. He shows you it. Actually, he shows you it and then unclasps it from his cloak and hands it over to you. Says, "This is the best way to confirm, find that sort of imagery. And then we will, I have a feeling that they won't be scouting you out per se. You are fresh blood after all, but soon enough you'll be doing a couple more jobs. Mostly surveillance. It's not too exciting until you get, you've been here for as long as I have.
Wonderful. Just one more thing. We're off to kill some gobbies. They're not any of your contracts, should we say?
No, goblins are more of pests than anything else. We don't take contracts out on them. They're leaders, maybe, but not at the moment. However, if you do find anyone who isn't a goblin in a goblin encampment, please do let us know about them, who they are, what they're doing, what their name is. That will be most helpful.
And you know, obviously, about Mordecai, yes?
I have heard the name indeed. We are doing our digging. We believe that this is all... It is not as many-sided as it seems. More of a spider's web than a dodecahedron. These things are linked, at least as we understand, but it's not yet clear how. If you follow the leads of the goblins, the web shall unravel, we hope.
Well, if you find any information about him in particular, I'd be very happy to learn about it. But I will take this and
us likewise, if you happen to find out any information on him or his outfit, shall we say, would be most appreciated.
Wonderful.
Excellent. Well, Astrid, thank you. And he goes to shake your hand.
It's nice to meet you too. I didn't catch your name last time.
Yes, that was decidedly on purpose. Willoughby Twobuckle.
Wonderful. Nice to meet you.
He sort of smiles, nods. He is played by Colin Farrell in the movie adaptation of this. Maybe a slightly younger Colin Farrell than he is at the moment, but he smiles, allows you to get up and everything, and he will kind of escort you out, I suppose. He says if there's no other business and no other questions that you might have, they will.
There are some, let's say, rude humans that came through a while ago. The Thorns?
Yes, a rather rough old bunch. I can tell you about them. Who you interacted with are, unfortunately, the stragglers. They were a more significantly dangerous gang. At the moment, they are diminished of their former strength, because the only ones that are left are the ones that weren't seen as good enough to be promoted. The ones that you saw were the ones that were seen as not good enough to be promoted. You may bump into, and probably, actually, if you're headed to Tarleton, you'll probably see what happens if you are a good enough bandit under the rule of Lord Saxton, and, well, the Drassigs as a whole, really. Keep an eye out for Lord Saxton's head bodyguard. He is known as Sir Peloton. A rather cruel-looking man. Bald head, pointed black beard, sneering, most likely. He was previously the, let's say, leader of the Thorns until the local government thought it would be, well, not local, sorry, till Neminar got word of him, and allegedly Saxton, before he was risen to his current position, saw a potential in one Sir Peloton, well, previously just Peloton, now Sir Peloton, and decided to give him a title, some land, and in doing so, made it not banditry, but glory under the service of the king. You'll find that is it's a rather common thread that may occur, is someone who is doing a bad thing are told they can either continue doing the bad thing for someone else, make slightly less money but not be hounded by the authorities, or be crushed by the iron hand of Drassig. Works a treat. Where do you think all the guards come from?
That is a point. Wonderful.
Thankfully, Gravesford is not as touched by the Drassig's rule as many other places. I believe Neminar sees this place as a bad luck charm. It is near enough where his father was quite unceremoniously murdered. And
bad luck charm here. Are the people not in danger? Would this not be the first place to, let's say, get stomped on?
well, this would either be the very first place or the very last place. They would either want to destroy this place to set an example, as this is what happens when you try and let in refugees, people who seek refuge from the Jurassic rule. This is what happens, and destroy this entire town. Or, conversely, this will be the very last place, because this is where, when the first town falls, this is where everyone will begin fleeing. This will become the bastion of freedom. One of two. Or we get rid of the Jurassics before that can happen.
And forgive me, I'm not really from here. You want me to go join your group of, let's say, people beholden onto yourselves, and you're going against the Jurassics. Your main thing is to bring down the Jurassics.
Not our main thing, but we believe that under new rulership, our corporation, that's not a corporation. That. This is me talking now. That's definitely not the word I want to use. Our little group is we're more likely to find success if the country was under new management.
Okay. Well, thank you for sharing. It's nice to have met you properly this time.
Yes. Sorry about the rushed meeting that we had previously. You understand the need for secrecy in our line of work, and he like emphasizes our line of work.
She'll nod, and well, wonderful. If you could show me the best way out without having to scale a wall.
Oh, of course, this way. And he shows you to. There's like a cupboard up against the wall. He opens the cupboard and just swings out the back plate of it. And there's another corridor. He says, head straight down that way. You'll find another door soon enough. Head out. Try and make yourself look drunk so no one bats an eye, and we'll be fine. Cheerio.
Farewell.
And he waves you off, closes the door behind you. You head down the... I'm going to put a picture in chat really quick. That is the symbol of that little like brooch thingy that he gives you. And he lets you away. You go down this corridor for maybe 30 seconds or so. You get to another wooden... It looks like another back plate of a cupboard. You press on it, swings open, and you find yourself in the courtyard of the stable lodge.
I'll stagger my way out.
Okay, you stagger your way out.
And like, try and sing all the bawdy songs that I've heard the bards be singing. Maybe a song in what are my languages? I'll be singing a song in Primordial. That'll be quite fun. Let's do that.
Okay. You start singing, and as you start singing, you hear one of the horses in the nearby stable areas just starts freaking out a little bit, clearly woken from a sleep. And you make your way out unmolested, return to the tavern, get a good night rest.
Wonderful. Oh, I speak halfling. Who knew? Cool.
So, morning comes. You all awaken, head downstairs, and at breakfast, you notice, Katao is nowhere to be seen, for one. And are you still doing like fishing and stuff to provide food for the tavern?
Oh yeah, I'll do that. It's my kind of agreement with them.
Sweet. So you go to go to like collect your breakfast for the morning, and find that someone is cutting queue in front of you, like an old gnome who you haven't seen around town before.
Sorry, my brain just shut off. What was that?
There's an old gnome in the tavern that you haven't seen before.
I'll once over make sure they've not got either the tattoo of the thorned rose or the clasp that I'd seen, and then if it's of no import to me, I'm going to go fishing.
Okay. Well, the gnome in the tavern, if you could please describe yourself and show that you do not have those tattoos or those the clasp. The clasp of the pierced moon.
Yeah, so there is a very, very, very old gnome, bald hair, the occasional wisp, and that's pretty much all on his head. He's got a long beard that almost touches the floor. His back is arched over, and he's got a cloak with a hood up.
Okay, so everyone, you gather yourselves for breakfast, get ready. Albrecht will he sees you in the morning and nods at you. He grabs his breakfast and leaves, seemingly in a rush. And this gnome, you see them I'm guessing just like tottering about. They get their breakfast and go to sit down, and it's pick it apart, that sort of thing. I don't know if gnomes are fairly rare, I believe. At least, definitely where you are. There's probably the only gnome in town, if I'm not mistaken. I'd have to double check, but I'm fairly sure pretty much everyone is human. See.
Once I've finished picking my food, I will go over to the rest of the guys. Okay, guys, are we ready to go?
Wait, what?
Wait, you've grown overnight, haven't you? Wait. Oh, god damn it! And he looks down at his hands. The bloody liar! He said I had 6 months in that form. If I see him again...
What?
Sorry, I'm Katao. I was trying to feel young again. It barely lasted 10 bloody days. Sorry. Erwin. Real name, Erwin. Hi. Yeah. Bloody.
In the corner of the room, you just see Hanu just still doing his elderly person's yoga style hacker.
Oh, the aerobics hacker.
Yeah, exactly going on.
Yeah. You, Owen, you're up at this table, and just like everyone who's sat there is just staring at you like, what?
Astron's kind of doing this thing where you know when you put like your like kind of biggish little fish, but like big, but not.
Yeah, like trying to make it make sense in her head. Like maybe he was really far away every time I'd seen him.
Perspective.
Yeah.
Like the Father Ted thing.
Big cow.
Far away.
Trying to make the table line up. Right.
Yeah. So one of the optical illusions that only make sense when you see it from a certain angle. Just desperately trying to make it make sense. But yeah, this gnome comes up to you, says, "Oh, I'm Katao, but I wanted to feel young again, so I transformed myself into a big burly man, and it didn't work." Essentially. You were a forest gnome, correct?
Yes.
Cool.
Hello, Bitty Big.
The proprietor of the tavern comes over. She brings you all food and drinks, that sort of thing. Plots them down your table and says, you've been a new friend. I don't believe we've had the pleasure of meeting one another. My name's Giselle," and she sticks her hand out to you.
Yes, Katao. I mean, Owen. Sorry, Owen.
Owen.
Yeah.
Lovely to meet you.
Thank you. You got something I can lean on? A walking stick. I used to have the stick, but when didn't need it, and now apparently I bloody need it again.
She says, "Well, I don't not on me, but there's a tree out back. I'll see if I have any branches that I could get. Are you all quite all right?"
Yeah. Just the back, the knees.
Yes, I understand. Let me get you something soft to sit on. And she goes upstairs and gets you a pillow off her bed. There's just straw in a sack. For you to sit on. She goes up back and gets a bit of would have been firewood.
Would it be obvious that he's in discomfort?
Well, that's up to him. She's just doting on him, but
I mean, he does look very, very old.
Okay. So Hanu starts winding down the hacker and thanks the however many people are now part of this regime in the morning.
There's only 4 or 5, but considering the size of the town, that's very impressive.
That's fine. Seeing his discomfort, he'll just come over and he'll be like, so who's this guy? You look like you're in some sort of discomfort.
Hanu, it's me. Christ, I haven't changed that much, have I? I mean,
well, it's
I guess,
nice
yeah,
to meet you, me. I'm Hanu.
No, I forgot. No,
Let
name's
me give you a
Owen.
hand there, and can I try and pick up a stool and pry off one of the legs, as delicately as you can, just to see if it's long enough as for almost.
There is a pile of the damaged furniture that's still working on being repaired, and you see a stool that just hasn't got its legs attached. You could just take one of those.
Yeah, I pick up one of them and.
Sweet. So you grab a stool leg. It's more like a pimp cane than a walking stick, just because of the length. So you do have to kind of strut a little bit as you walk, but it will work. It'll do the trick.
Cannon. Hanu, it's me. We helped the cat from the, what was her name? The carpenter. Morgause?
Yes.
Gladys.
Morgause was a carpenter.
Oh no. Who was Gladys?
Gladys?
Oh, pent-up aggressive old woman.
I believe Gladys was one of the ladies that's joined the aerobic circle. Off the top of my head. Because that's just a generic enough old lady name that I think I would have just, decided on that.
Hanu's doing the Pulp Fiction gif, looking John, the John Travolta gif.
Although we're carrying the coat, yeah.
And it's like, Astrid, do you mind what's going on?
She's still doing the arm thing, trying to work out. Not quite sure what's going on. You're not going to get an answer. She's not smart enough for this.
Oh my god, do I really have to put... I am Erwin. I am old. I have a bad back. I wanted to be young again. So I bought a potion from a travelling merchant who said it would give me 6 months in that form. 6 months I was meant to have. I got 10 days out of it. I'm still meant to be 6 foot, not 3, on a good day.
This one sure is grumpy.
You try having these knees, you'll be grumpy too. It's cold. Why is it so cold in here now?
So Giselle returns from upstairs. She brings you that pillow, gives you food and that sort of thing. Has a cup of tea for the table, and otherwise seemed in a better mood than she was last time you spoke. It seems that your continued presence and sort of like the resoluteness and you going off and dealing with an actual problem has sort of made her warm up to you a bit more. She didn't dislike you, but it's like, she associated you with trauma, essentially. So not very comfortable around you. She seems to be warming up a bit better. It seems a new face has made it a bit easier. Like when she'll come up to talk to the group, she'll just come up and talk to Erwin, and then you guys can butt in, kind of. But otherwise, the morning goes off. You ready yourselves, and if y'all are ready, I'll move over to the big map. So,
Honu, will you help me on the horse, please? Or give me a step, or...
He'll lay down, shell in, go into his shell to sort of act like a stepping stone, essentially.
Oh, thank you, Honu. You're a good lad, you are.
You're welcome. Say, we still not found Catal.
Oh my god.
and so you head off. This wouldn't be the first time that you've just been like someone's just left Gravesford randomly, as that's exactly what happened with Angus. So to the northwest you head. You've got a rough copy of a map that gives you the vague idea of where things are. It's more stylized than this one, and you head up that way. So who is leading the pack, as it were? Who's keeping watch? Who's doing what? As I said, it would take about a day to get there. So your best bet is if you travel for half a day, stop, and then when you arrive, you'll get there at a reasonable time.
I mean, Hanu's not the most stealthiest, so anywhere between middle and back.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know about you guys.
We can move that over. Yeah.
Aston can take point for the first day, if no one else fancies it.
Cool.
I'm supposed to be stealthy, not that my rolls have said anything like it today.
Wrong size for a sec. So, unfortunately, we do not have a new token for our. Well, I was going to say guest, not a guest. So we're just going to have to, suspension of disbelief, pretend that the big Jack tattooed scary man is actually a small old man. So, Astrid, you're up front. You're about in the middle. I'll say Naylin goes at the back. Why not? Go like this. That looks good enough. If you were to go single file, if not, then we can spread out to like that. Cool. So you travel on your mighty steeds through the open plains. It is a relatively plain day. It does not rain. It is not especially sunny. It's warm enough. But as day goes on, you find yourself coming towards the base of the Ironseat Ridge. You have been in the outskirts of the Ironseat Ridge before, but now you know your destination is ahead of you, and there is still some way to go. And the terrain looks to get more disagreeable very quickly. You wager the horses can make it, but it will be hard work, and the most obvious problem to you all is the fact that there's very easy to be ambushed, essentially. There's lots of blind spots, double backs, pathways on, very clear, loose footing, lots of rocks jutting up either side of you, places to hide. So as the wind picks up, and all you can hear are just every now and again a bird cawing or the sound of rocks tumbling down. Every noise will send you on edge. You reach the end of the first day. You set up watch, you set up camp. In the rocky terrain, it's a bit less hospitable than most places you've been staying recently. But you manage, if not waking up with a bit of crick in your neck, much like Owen does every single day. And you awaken to, well, I assume you wake early, to find that none of your shit's been stolen, no one's dead, you're all fine. So, second day, you expect, if you're traveling at the rate that you believe you are traveling at, it will take you about maybe 2-3 hours to get to your destination. I assume it's going to be the same marching order as before.
Yeah, I would have thought so.
Yeah.
Cool. So you continue traveling. Now, Ashton, I'm going to ask you to make a survival or perception check, whichever you are most comfortable doing.
Won't be survival. There we go.
So, with an 18 perception, you notice as you're going ahead, there are tracks in the rock leading off the path that you're currently on. This is a not commonly traveled, but it is traveled path. And now some of the tracks are becoming more and more distinct as less and less people travel in this area. It's getting rougher, it's getting rockier, and you notice very pointedly the signature footprint of a goblin dog.
Can I see if there's anyone around in the bushes, like ambushing, like we did on the first session?
Okay, yeah. So with that perception check, I'll roll it over. You take a look around. You sort of like spot it from 20 feet away. Like that's not a person footprint. That's an animal footprint, and it's not a good animal footprint. You stop everyone, take a look around. It doesn't look like It doesn't look like the tracks are going to a place of ambush. And you listen out. You don't hear any like giggling or people like bowstrings being drawn, anything like that.
Okay. I'm gonna call back. Say that found tracks. We're going this way.
Okay. So from that, how do you proceed?
I'm gonna recommend that we dismount and go quietly.
Mm-hmm.
And maybe a little bit stealth. What are we doing with our horses? Are we putting them into like the brush on the side of the road and then leaving them there, or are we going? What are we doing? Because
I think it's best we find a safe place so they don't get taken or eaten.
right. Okay.
By harpies, perhaps. If you can pretty easily find it's like a double back, so there's like a little splinter off the main path that only goes like 30 feet or so that ends with a big lump of shrubbery. You can put the horses down there. They're not out of sight, but they're not directly in sight either. No one's gonna like bump into them.
Obvious.
But if you're looking, they'd be pretty obvious. It's hard to hide a horse.
Cool. And then shall we sneak?
Sounds like a plan.
Okay. You'll get sneaky. Stealth checks everyone then, please.
Please don't fuck me.
That's
Hey.
better. Go on. Double 19s. So, what's the plan with Nail-In? I can run Nail-In, or if someone else fancies having a spell slot character, they are more than welcome to run them as well.
I don't mind. I've not really played a spellcaster much, so I don't mind.
Okay.
rolling.
As long as I assume you understand like how spell slots work and stuff. So yeah, sure, I'll trust you with that. I'll put the permissions on the sheet in just a sec. Should be that. Yep, cool. If I go. Just found there's a shortcut on Roll20 that I've just found out. If you hold Shift and double click on a token, it opens the character sheet associated with that token.
Oh,
It is so helpful. All right, save changes. Cool. So you should have access to a sheet now. Awesome. So you guys begin sneaking. There is something you notice as you travel further onwards. You get to a point where you can follow these tracks and they go off on like a tiny little rocky path. You follow it up and eventually it widens back out again into a very clearly commonly used path that goblins use. On the floor, you see there are shattered, splintered pieces of wood, like wooden planks that have been broken, damaged, or otherwise lost. Some of them are weirdly like bent, almost like they are conformed to a shape that is not straight and narrow. And they're also just random like teeth, bones, like the bones of like a dog or something, or a goat, some kind of wild animal. Every now and again you'll find like an arrow. Sometimes it'll be like just random copper coins that have been dropped and forgotten about. Sometimes even just like little sparkly things that a goblin might want to pick up on, like a magpie. But for the most part, you don't see any goblins until you get to a point at which there is a very distinct upward slope in the side of the cliffs. So it's usually like a rough, it's maybe like 15 degrees, 20 degrees, as you're like going up and back and round and up and back and round. There's this like double switchback staircase almost, this path sloping upwards. And you get to the point where you're about, what you wager, there's a cliff face in front of you that is just like not miles high, but very high. You can see it ends in some kind of plateau at some point. That has the base of it appears to be about 30 feet from you, and you can see that the path that you are traveling on appears to lead to its base. Can I get perception checks from everyone? Okay. Oof. Rocks. So all of you here, coming down the way, the sound of goblins chattering to one another, and every now and again there'll be a bark noise. You also see, those of you who aren't Asterin, see in that cliff face, there are 3 evenly spaced holes, maybe 2, 3, maybe 4 inches wide and 2 or 3 feet tall, perfectly evenly spaced at a very unnatural position. It does not look like the rock naturally formed these cracks. And upon closer inspection, especially Armin-Ra, you see that these are clearly arrow slits of some kind.
Good.
I'll point this out to everybody.
Sweet. So you let everyone know. And as I said before, you hear the voices and barks of goblins and goblin dogs northward of your position. I'm going to move you over to a slightly more interesting map. So, apologies if I don't have the marching order correct. You guys can feel free to move yourselves around, get yourselves in the right position. But to the north of you, as you see this pathway, move the camera over, the pathway travels upward, and just beyond your sight range, you see it does. Let me see if I can see what you guys see. Yeah, so just past where you can see, there is a bend in the path, and it's just around that corner that you are hearing these voices.
Is that where the arrow slits are?
The arrow slits are they're not on like the wall to your right directing now. So basically the way this path works is it goes north like 60 feet and then south 60 feet, and it's on that southern pathway that they are lined up.
Sorry, come again.
You're not in danger of being shot at from them at this very second. It will become abundantly clear where they are once you guys move the tokens up there and get everything is revealed. Don't worry. You're not going to get shot
after
from
these
just
being
yet.
pointed out, or just Hanu would probably just try to keep as close to the like rock face as possible, like not
Yeah.
stand right in the middle of the thing, but kind of walk up against the wall and just kind of not shimmy as such, but keep close to the wall.
Yeah. So if you keep yourself as close to that eastern wall of this path that you're on at the moment, that is more than enough to obscure yourself. Like it is, you only need to be. You have to be like on the very other edge. Let me do that. On the very western side of this path and standing on your tippy toes to see it. It's just like you roll very well on perception. So if you're on the eastern side, you cannot be seen. So again, you hear those goblin voices get a little bit louder, and you hear like a kick and as a goblin dog is abused by its master, and the voices are growing closer.
All right then, folks. Looks like it's time.
Do you guys do anything to prepare? Or are you just gonna let...
Nailin will I was gonna say, yeah, stuff it. It's probably not what she would do, but it's probably what I would do in her circumstance. Nailin will just gently touch Erwin's shoulder and say, "Now let me help guide you," and and cast guidance.
Okay. So next skill check gets a D4. Everyone else, any plans, or are you just going to wait for them to spot you and then let that be the inciting incident?
I'm gonna
I
ready
turn into a spider.
arrow.
Okay. So now it all makes sense. The giant spider appears. I'm going to leave your like character token there, just so because otherwise light will get all fucky. But that you should be able to see.
Look who turned up to the party.
Hey, where'd Irwin go? Let's see. If I do that. So now I should be able to see. You turn into a giant spider. You ready in action with your... is it short bow or you're throwing a knife?
Short bow.
Cool.
Yeah, Hanu will step forward a little bit and hold his action for an attack with his lance.
Okay. Ready yourselves. And not long after that,
into range.
These group of goblins come around the corner and they notice you a lot later than they should do. Like you see them for like a good 5 seconds because they're bickering with one another and they seem to be arguing over something.
As soon as these come within 35 feet, I'll attack the first one I see.
Okay, yeah. Oh shit! No, you've got your throwing lance now. I was thinking you got a 30-foot long lance. Yeah, you got your chain of returning. Cool. So let's roll initiative, and I'll let your held actions go off in the surprise round. But they turn and see you. It's actually they don't see you. The gobhounds see you first, and then they like slap the dog to make it shut up, and then realize what it's barking at, and decide to do something about it. So initiative. There we go. That's those two done. Astrid, Hanu, Unroll, board shapes, and then Nailin. Perfect. Nice and easy. So first up is Nailin. Obviously, they're not going to get a round of stuff to do because they are surprised. What does Nayland want to do?
Let's have a look. Don't think anything in range. Yeah, let's go for a guiding bolt, I guess. 120 feet.
Against a goblin or a goblin
Against the first thing that you see, so it'll be a dog.
dog? Yeah, cool. Well, they are surprised, so that is a 16. 16 hits and 22 points of radiant damage. Yeah, that'll do it. That dog just gets this. It's like it just begins. It goes like halfway through a bark and just turns to dust. Just absolutely vaporize it.
She'll probably say something like, "I hate those dirty vermin."
Is she giving you like a sheet of things to say when she does stuff?
No,
Or a sheet of what title?
I'm just totally ripping the character.
Okay. So Honu, is you next. So you see you like cock back with your lance, get ready to throw it, and then one of them turns to dust. You're like, okay, not that one. Pivot to the left a little bit. Get ready to throw.
Pow.
There you go. Yep.
Pow. Not the rage damage, so.
Oh, okay, just 5 then. Cool.
Yeah, I'm not raging, yeah.
5 points of damage. It takes damage, but does not go down.
Now I'm raging.
Okay.
Because now I can see. Obviously, I know I'm there for gobbos, but now I can see the gobbos. So.
Yes, yeah, of course. Cool. So you hit, and then it's how dare it survive after being hit by me? You get yourself ready for a proper fight, and then Amra.
Alman-Ra is going to Eldritch Blast.
Eldritch
26 hits.
Oh yeah.
I guess I'm going to go for the only thing I can see, which is that guy, the dog.
Okie dokie. Well, however much damage you do, I have a feeling, provided you do more than one, yeah, 8 will do it. You take that one out as well. So both the dogs down. You see the goblins like had leashes on them and like let go of the leashes, and nothing happens. Because they were hoping that they would be able to set them on you, but did not get the opportunity to do so. So movement and bonus action if you'd like to use it.
I've moved a little bit, but that's it.
Cool. Just reorganizing. And Astro, so you've got your short bow shot.
Yeah, I'm gonna go for either one of the goblins. I don't mind.
Cool, yeah. 15 hits, and yep, you have advantage, etc., etc. That one takes that one out.
And then I'm gonna bonus action hide and try and make myself as flat to the wall as possible, just up by here. Okay,
you like sort of kind of do the thing that Honu was sort of doing. You like shimmy up against the wall and just find yourself like jammed right into a little crack. Make a stealth check. That will be your turn. Nice, 15. So this goblin is surprised, does not get a turn, and then it is Owen. It's just as wild shapes. I was going to call you wild shapes.
That's my nickname. Okay, so my spider has 30-foot speed and 30-foot climb. You said the right-hand wall, the eastern wall, is the one that is up. And
yes,
so,
yeah. As long as you are against that, then you are unable to be seen from the arrow slits.
Well, I'm going to skitter up against the wall, and then literally jump on this goblin and try and bite it.
Go for it. Oh, yeah, that'll do it. So, unfortunately, he does not have the light of Galadriel and is bitten in twain. You just, like, stick your weird spider fangs in and just all of his insides turn into a strange liquid. Pretty sure that's how spiders work. And just as quickly as it started, combat is over. Managed to get the drop on these dudes. So, as that happens, it happens quick enough, and you manage to get rid of before they could raise an alarm, before they could throw off their attacks, which would have been a lot less considerate for the environment than yours. You wait a second, and it doesn't seem as though anyone is coming to investigate. No one hears. Seem to have gotten away with it.
While the spider continues moving up to the path and kind of just blocks it completely.
Sweet, yeah. Just you sort of like suspend yourself from the west and east walls, just like and take up the entire thing, like one of what they called the sculptures in Legend of Zelda. They just take up an entire doorway. Okay, that. So you got there again. You aren't hearing much of anything, but you do notice that the concentration of like shattered, splintered pieces of wood, arrows, coins, that sort of thing is getting greater the further you go up. Everyone else, I assume you're keeping pace?
Yeah. Do we have time to quickly slice off ears, or does it seem a bit more paced?
No, go for it. Go for it.
I'll take all the ears.
Sweet. So, mark down. 2 left, 2 right for goblin, and 2 left, 2 right for goblin dog. Unless you want to just go for all right ears again. And that is cool. So it is. So I'm gonna just move your tokens round just so you can get an idea of what I'm referring to when I say that it looks like there's arrow slits in the wall. So I'm going to start with there you go. So if you just move I'll allow you to just move your token all the way down, and I will say that is there you go. Yep. And if you stop about there, that is about as far as you can see. So if you see these 3 divots in the wall here, that is just fully not the right color. Why has it done that? How strange. There we go. That one there, and that one there. Also decided not to be the right color. How weird. So these 3 divots appear to lead to like crevices cut into the wall, and as you get closer, you get you do the Scooby-Doo / Friends thing where you all peek out from the side of the pathway there, and like all your heads are stacked up on top of each other, and one of them's also a giant spider. And you see these 3 crevices. If you didn't see it before, you definitely see them now.
Yep.
1, 2, and 3. And as you go further down, again, there's more and more of this rubble and random shit on the floor. And you note that further down, if you were to keep going southward, you will encounter a set of just absolutely smashed to shit traveling carts. There's parts of wheels and the actual body of it, and whatever they were storing. There's like torn open sacks, barrels that have been cracked to pieces, rotten apples and things like that on the floor. Because obviously a goblin wouldn't want to eat an apple unless it was rotten.
This wall to the right is this tall? Is this?
Yeah, that is a cliff face wall that goes up a rather significant height.
Spider is going to climb over the arrow slits.
No, sorry. When I say a wall, it is like a cliff face. So it doesn't like go up and then back down again. It's just a cliff face, and then the mountain continues past that point. It's just a rather sharp drop off.
I'm confused now.
Okay, so we're looking out of arrow slits, not into arrow slits.
No, you are looking into arrow slits, but the arrow slits are carved into the mountain wall itself. So if you were to look at it from the side, I will do like a little cross-section view. There's like 2 little pathways like this, and then there's just a big old thing. It goes like that, right? So this is a bit rough. I apologize. Make sure that's the right color. So you are currently here along this pathway. If you're looking at it from the side, right, then there are these arrow slits here, and obviously there are 3 of them spaced along. The cliff goes up past that point, but then it just goes back into being mountainous, rocky terrain.
So it just goes up and up and up, essentially.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah,
So it's not like
so I will.
peak.
Yeah, so I will climb over and literally just go above them by 10 foot, so I'm not in the sight of them, and
Oh,
literally
okay.
climb all the way down past them.
So not
Oh, I see. Okay, I thought you meant like you wanted to go like up and over. Like I was picturing that you
No.
thought it was like a wall that you go up and then down the other side. Okay, right. No, that makes. When you
No,
say
I'm
down
just
the other
walking
side, that makes
on
more
them.
sense. Right. Okay. Gotcha. Yeah.
How high
Just
are they
making-
off the ground?
They are 10 foot off the ground and then 3 foot. That's 10 foot to the bottom of it, and then they're like 3 foot tall from there.
Okay.
So if you like shimmy
yeah.
up against the wall, you've got.
Yeah, Hanu will do that, shimmy all the way across. And,
So you.
Yeah.
I'll use your stealth checks from earlier, everyone, because you got pretty well. And you start making your way through. So as you get to the very end here, you see, as I said before, these shattered carts. Their wheels, buckles, they clearly have just been dumped here, and all of the things that are of use or interest have been removed from them. However, leading to the east from that area, if you move yourself around, you will see a very clearly non-goblin structure. There is a small worked stone platform, followed by worked stone stairs leading to another stone platform, leading to more stairs, leading to a giant fuck-off doorway. Easily 10 foot wide, 20 foot tall, carved with the likeness of a dwarven face, but the faces have been chiseled off with some kind of crude stone implement. To the north and south, there are more arrow slits. Again, exact same dimensions as before, there and there.
Is it possible just to see if there's anything like of interest without being detected by the arrow slits in whatever
absolutely,
this,
absolutely.
this rubble is? What kind of roll do you want for me?
Investigate if you want to have a look through all that stuff. Yeah, investigation.
Just a quick rummage. I don't want to,
You go over, you poke through, lift some, try and do stuff that wouldn't cause a lot of noise. Obviously, if you tore it all apart, you'd probably find a bit more. But looking through it, as I said before, it looks like the only thing that's left in here is stuff that a goblin wouldn't find interesting. So there's
Are the wheels intact?
Largely not. Maybe one of them could like service and roll, but none of them, at the very least, have axles that are intact.
I'll put the one wheel aside and just lean it somewhere in case we come back this way.
Okay, cool. Yeah. So you make sure to tuck it away to a side that isn't going to be stomped on or whatever.
Yeah.
You also noticed a lot of the wood that makes up these carts is like charred. Seems that it uses like a makeshift bonfire at some point because goblins will do as goblins will do. But otherwise, you guys are in front of this doorway, for lack of a better term.
Is there any space above the door?
So it is 20 feet on these on the big north and south walls, and then within the door frame itself, no, there isn't. So any of the walls that aren't where that door is, basically, you are free to maneuver up and around the arrow slits. But just a reminder, they do face each other. So if you're hiding from one, it is likely that you are visible to another.
I'm how sneaky do we want to be in getting in there? Fairly, or are we just announcing our presence quickly?
I think it's safe to say that we have the element of surprise. It's best to keep that for as long as possible.
Because I can do, not casting this, but just saying that I can do this, and maybe hide our way in.
Okay. That's cool.
I do like good fun. But I can do that once a day. So if I use this now, we could sneak our way in. And realistically, it's just a little fog clouds.
What size are goblins?
Goblins are small.
They're small. Okay.
But you do know that there are like goblins actually encompasses like a family of creatures. So the typical just goblin is small. There's also hobgoblins, which are medium, bugbears, which are also medium but like beefier. There's obviously goblin dogs, as you've seen. There's all sorts of weird shit. But regular goblins are small.
Okay. Can I cast Disguise Self myself to turn myself into a hobgoblin?
You can indeed. So, a hobgoblin is a rather weird-looking creature. It looks like if you got a goblin and like stretched all its proportions out. So it's got like the same weird, like football-shaped, like American football-shaped head, like sideways, and that big, like toothy grin. But your arms and legs are just like long and not at all in proportion, and your skin is like this weird. It's more of like a reddish grey than the typical goblin green. Very weird looking, but you transform yourself nonetheless.
And I'll walk in.
Okay. So let's. So you are you just like walking up to the front door, basically?
Yeah, but I'm gonna look very domineering and look inside the arrow slits and tell them to come to me.
Okay. So you make a deception check and then an intimidation check.
Oh,
Fuck's sake!
Hmm.
But the one thing I should be good at.
You
One thing
hear
I've built this character for, and
you. So when you say "come out here," what language do you say it in?
oh shit, I don't speak Goblin.
And that's why the 9 intimidation doesn't work, because they don't know what you say.
I don't say anything. I don't say anything. I use my fingers to beckon them to me.
Okay. You wait a little while.
I almost like point to the floor, like you here, but without
Um,
using words, just pointing at him and then point at the floor in front of me.
Okay.
Both of them.
There's a very like palpable tension in the air as you wait, see what happens, and you see the door opens. A goblin steps out, and the door immediately closes behind it, and he like jumps as the door closes, and he like steps forward. His weird like he sort of like
Sorry, just to
lips.
retcon, I would have told everyone to sort of hide.
Yeah, no, I assume
Right.
their tokens aren't actually like where
Yeah.
they are. Yeah, you don't find stuff. Yeah. He like comes almost shimmying down the steps, like one leg is clearly favoring over the other. Just he's looking around. He's like looking at the arrow slits, and looking at you, and he's sort of like trying to like gauge it, like when in like pop culture when you see like a caveman trying to interact with something for the first time, do that weird like they half walk up sideways and like yeah, he's doing that and like trying to get a gauge of you, and he goes.
I'm just gonna slap him and tell him and shush him with my finger.
He is slapped, and he bows his head immediately.
Fucking the thing before I head. I'm just gonna walk away and tell him to come with me.
Okay, you.
I want him out of range of the so the arrow slits can't see him.
Okay, yeah. Make another intimidation check.
Does anyone speak Goblin?
I think that's a no.
spider.
Wah, wah, wah. Let's see. Do you guys have any access to the spells, comprehend languages, anything like that? Tongues?
Oh, yes, I fucking do.
Ah, there you go.
I can communicate telepathically as long as we don't need to share a language for it to understand me.
That
It just needs to understand the language.
Are they able to reply in turn?
No, they can't.
Okay, they can hear what you say, but they can't like. They can probably like telepathically like say something back, but it just comes through as just goblin.
Yeah.
So you but put the message in his brain of you need to.
I have a surprise. Close your eyes and go around the corner.
Okay, make a with that 17 intimidation check, yeah, he nods and make an insight check. This isn't the first time someone has spoken to him through his brain. He doesn't like flinch and look around in fear. He like hears it and he's like, okay, orders received. He's goes up around here. I
As soon
assume
as
you
he
all
comes
just
in range, he's getting a jab.
And maybe
he's
an arrow.
butchered. Yeah.
I mean, he's
So
just
he
getting
steps
spun
around the
up in a
corner.
web. I mean,
and you do like the spider thing where you squirt them and then like wrap them up in your legs and spin them around and it's like now just like a wriggling lump
Skewered on
full
the
of covered in
lance.
silk. And you stab him, twist, and it stops wriggling.
Now we just need to do this another 100 times. Okay, I can talk to them now. Could I say to them, using your fingers, how many people are inside?
You're saying this to the arrow slits, right?
Yeah.
There is no response.
Are they there?
You can't actually make a perception check.
Oh, that was wrong.
From the very small amount of light that is penetrating this area, you're having to rely on, like very trace amounts of light or whatever light might be inside. The silhouette that takes up that arrow slit, you realize it doesn't make sense, like geographically, I guess, if the floor in there is level with the floor, like where these arrow slits are. The goblins aren't manning those arrow slits. They're too short. They wouldn't reach the bottom.
What? I don't understand.
So, essentially, the where the arrow slits are positioned, you get the impression that it's probably not goblins manning them because goblins are only like 3 foot tall and they're 3 foot off the ground. So unless you've got like a collection of
So
stepping
whatever
stools,
the silhouette is taller than...
it's taller than a goblin. Yeah.
I'm going to telepathically tell that to all 4 of them.
You will receive that information. There is something
Can
bigger
we
than a goblin.
respond?
No,
I don't believe so.
don't think so.
It's like a tweet.
Can we do like a... Oh no, bollocks.
I'll put a picture in chat really quick. That is what like a hobgoblin looks like in my brain. They are weird old things. Literally like a stretched out goblin.
Ooh.
Yeah.
So can we do like a theatrical whisper? And
Yeah, sure. No, you guys could just talk like at normal pace because it is a nightmare trying to communicate via whispers via Discord. Yeah, you talk as you want.
how about you cover up as close to one of them we can pass by the other?
Wait, so you want me to get up really close to one of them
Yeah.
to block the view?
Indeed.
Okay, I'm going to do that. And as I do that, I'm also going to grow in size. Like, not ridiculously, just like maybe inch by inch, just so that I'm covering a little bit more.
Okay. So you want to try and like take up as much space in front of that
One of them.
arrow slit as humanly possible.
Mhm.
Yeah, and I'm going to kind of almost like put my arms on either side as well and just start grunting inside.
You hear a voice on the other side of the arrow slit.
Yeah.
Make it quick. And I
I'm
kind
gonna
of usher
telepathically
that everyone
say-
needs to move.
I'm going to telepathically say, I can't talk, no tongue.
You hear.
Did he just spit at me?
He didn't spit at you, he spat.
Oh, okay.
Do you bite your tongue at me, sir? No, sir, but I do
I
bite my
was about
tongue.
to say, someone else is going to lose their fucking tongue tonight.
As this is
Yeah.
going, as
He
this
did
is
seem
going
to
on,
pointedly spit, I will admit, but it did not land on you.
as this is going on,
Yeah,
I
Giant
most certainly will
spider
usher
crawling
it past as quickly as we can.
Okay. So you start creeping by, duck under as best you can. Everyone makes stealth checks.
But also, just to record, we took the ear of the goblin.
It is implied that you do so. Don't
Yeah.
worry.
I mean, it's
I'm
Honu, so
Look at that. 24, 25? 7?
Rip.
Well, luckily, the guy to the north is clearly picking his teeth or something.
Oh dear.
Oh, wow. So that's success, fail, fail.
fucking hell.
I say, Amra, you're not going to make a stealth check. I'm going to ask you to make a
Obscuring check.
deception performance. What do you think would be the... Like, try
I mean,
to take
they're
a
both-
place
Thieving,
possible,
isn't
make
he?
it
So
look
I
natural.
guess.
They're both +7, so
Oh, yeah, just whichever works.
I'll do a performance or I'll do deception. 14.
Okay, that's a success. So that is a net 3 to 3. I'm gonna roll just a dice and see.
If Hanu spotted, it's in the way that you spot Jaws in the water. Just this fin goes past.
Oh, right. I think it's just like an eye up
You
against the
just see
thing.
this spike just pass by.
Dude.
Did you talking about sharks? Did you hear about the guy that punched a shark in his face that was trying to eat his girlfriend?
Yeah, in New Zealand, wasn't it?
Yeah.
Oh.
None of you are shot. You don't hear any alarm bells. Seems that you have got away with it.
Well, we will.
You
wait
managed to get to the other
for-
side, and there's no. Like, Omra, you're gonna have to stay there for a little bit to just like keep up appearances, but you do all manage. However uncomfortable it may, I'm just gonna shrink your token so we can get people in the right place. You can all like squeeze into this little doorway, and you are out of sight of everyone.
Yeah, I'm on the ceiling.
Yeah.
Everyone has to crouch a little bit just so they don't like get like the weird bristly spider hair like scraping on the back of their head.
I mean, you've seen how small spiders can make themselves.
Yeah. You can't. You like flatten yourself up against the ceiling. It's very unsettling. That's that. You evade the attention of the arrowslits. What next?
We solved the arrow slit puzzle.
Congratulations, you solved my arrow slit puzzle.
I'm gonna walk away, but as I
You see
do, I'm
what
gonna
to do next.
telepathically say to this guy, I'm gonna say, all right, thanks, lovely meeting you. Say hello to Wanda. Maybe we'll do lunch sometime.
Let's circle back to this. Just give him some corporate talk and walk away. Okay, so now this big fuck off door is in front of you. As I said before, it is like this. It's carved with like dwarven faces, like staring down, this like angry look, so as to scare off intruders. Almost like the gargoyle faces that hold the rings in their mouths on like old doors, like that, but with just huge dwarven faces, one on each one that's just been chiseled off. It's usually around the eyes. It's just been like hit with a hammer that you can see, but it's still very clearly like the place where a face would be.
So
It's like in the dwarven ruins in Skyrim. You see just like the big fuck off metal head sticking out of the wall. Like that.
I hate the wall.
I'm guessing Amun-Ra is still a hobgoblin.
Yeah.
Yeah, I kind of tap you on the back for like praise, and then I like lean against the wall as much as I can to let you take the lead.
I'm gonna. Is everyone doing that?
Watching you go.
All right, I'm gonna open the door just wide enough so that I can squeeze in without. Oh, do I have to see someone to speak to them telepathically? You can see within 30 feet.
Someone you can see.
So, can I try and open the door?
It does not move.
Not
It appears to be barred.
Is there a back door?
That you can see? No.
No. Is there a door knocker?
There's your hands.
I mean, I turn to everyone and say, are we knocking?
Hanu
Yeah,
will
it will.
ready for an attack for anything that may be that may witness us come through the door, or the door be open and us be visible.
What do we know about this fort? Like, do we know how many goblins there are?
No.
I mean, even roughly, is it tens? Is it 50s? Is it hundreds?
Nope.
One way to
No.
find out.
6003.
TPK. TPK.
You just knock on the door.
Yeah, roll 2.
Try and make it angry as possible. You hear.
Oh, hold up.
Hmm?
Could I loosely tie rope around everyone's hands?
Like a bracelet or to hold on to each other?
As in to make them look like I've caught them.
Oh, the old "you're too big to be a stormtrooper." Wait, no, the other
Yeah.
way around. Yeah, the old Chewbacca trick. Okay, yeah. God,
But not like so they're properly tight, but like so they're almost holding it on themselves, so they can just release it at any time and
Okay,
do what
yeah,
they need to do.
so you basically do like if you were told to do a braid, that's about how like tight and secure it would be. I'm speaking from obviously projecting a little bit, but you know, it seems girls do braids a lot better than I do. Don't know why, but it's very easy to pull apart. Absolutely no problem. You can make it look like they are prisoners. You on the door. You hear on the other side, and then you hear a.
Also,
That's
sorry, is it big enough for this? Is this all big enough for the spider to be for the druid to be on the ceiling without anyone seeing it?
It depends if they look up.
Okay.
If they look up, very plain that they're there.
And the master of stealth.
It's like that scene from Spider-Verse. You know, the where he's like they're hidden in the corner of the room, and every time the guy turns around, they just like hide in his blind spot behind his head. So you all get ready. Knock on the door. You hear goblin voices. There's a wait. You hear as something is taken from the back of the door, and slowly the door on the leftmost one, because they can't open both at once, the leftmost one begins to creak open. And I'm going to guess the second you see a goblin on the other side, you're going to just murk him.
If they're buying it, then probably not. If they look like they're not convinced by whatever, then yeah.
Okay.
I put one of my spider legs between the doors so they can't close it.
Okay.
Right, Thompson, and you're not going to notice unless you look up.
Okay.
I mean, it also
Closes, you
depends
now
if
have
it opens
7
up and there's like a 60 goblins in there, then probably not.
You see the door opens. It is immediately a light. There's clearly some source of light in this area. And in front of the door, there is a goblin looking like, it looks like straightforward, sees like hobgoblin like legs, looks up, looks at you, and then looks up again.
I'm just literally just going to say, shut up, aside. And just push him aside and walk in.
Okay. You do that, he screams a word in goblin that you don't know. And I'm going to need you to roll.
Or is it stranger danger?
Near enough.
This
and I'm
is
gonna...
my no square.
So, this is the room that you see.
Oh, there's a hobgoblin. There's two hobgoblins.
You see about 10 feet of... Actually, let me get the actual like flavor text for it. The great door opens into a large hall. A narrow ledge overlooks a deep, dark crevasse that cuts the room in two. A dangerous-looking rope bridge, frayed and thin, spans the gap. Water gurgles and rushes somewhere far below. 2 copper braziers burn brightly on either side of the door, illuminating the western half of the room, and another ledge is barely visible on the other side of the chasm. On this rope bridge, seemingly moving in your direction, don't pay attention to the actual, like, the thing I've got there. The actual, like, the bridge itself is a lot more rickety. I'll put a picture of what it looks like roughly in chat in a second. Scroll up. There we go. There's one goblin who has just, like, screamed as you've pushed him through the doorway. One of them is, like, working their way towards you, and on the other side of the chamber there are 2 hobgoblins, longbows at the ready. So that is, if you can sort of get the gist of that, like, it is just like 3 pieces of rope all hooked up to the same place on either end. It is hard work getting across and does not look safe. Get rid of that. Get rid of that. So did you get all yours updated, or did I cock up? Let's see, 1916. Yeah, Astrin is 13. Perfect. So.
How deep is the crevasse?
Beyond your sight.
Sweet.
Soz.
How wide is it? As in from top to bottom here?
So one sec. Let me just roll this for this last guy. There we go. So from top to bottom, I will actually just measure it for consistency's sake. It's 90 feet from north to south, from like one end to the other. If you're wondering, like, how long it would take for you to walk kind of along the wall all the way across to the other side, that would be, so it would be, what, 10 foot to...
It's 50 foot from there to there.
Yes, there. Just go, like, up, and then up, and then... Because you'd have to, like, walk to it. So, yeah, it would take, like, a dash action and then some to just fully scuttle around on the inside wall and get to the other side. You don't have to worry about the rope bridge itself, how rickety it is, because you wouldn't have to worry about falling off it because you've got spider climb. You can just stick to shit. But if you worry about more your weight than anything else, I'm going to make you like a normal, your actual size now. Put you at the back so it's not all anyone can see. And do that. Done. 1, 2, 3, 4. Sending.
How high is the ceiling?
The ceiling, let's see how far it goes, if it says. It doesn't appear to say, so I'm going to say that... oh, shit, 1 sec. It goes up, also out of sight.
Okay, fine.
So it goes up beyond the range of your dark vision and below the range of your dark vision, but you can hear the sounds like water from below. Armin-Ra, you're up first.
So it's just the one door that's open, isn't it?
In front of it, once it's opened, you can open the other one incidentally. You can do it for free.
Okay, I'll open it, move out so people can sort of step in, and then I would like 1, 2, and 3 to make charisma saving throws.
Charisma saving throws. Okay. That is 50 feet away, as long as that is within range. Cool. So,
and I sort of look at them and bite my fingers for a bit of drop comes out and flick it at them.
Bite your tongue at me, sir. That is fail success. So one of the northern hobgoblin fails, and the goblin on the bridge fails. What do they do?
So this one and this one,
Mm-hmm.
they are both pained. So every saving throw and attack roll is minus a d4.
Okay, right. I'm going to give them an infernal seal because that is the closest thing I have to it. So you like take a almost chunk out of your thumb and like spit blood on the floor, and a dark cloud appears above their heads, causing them to probably fuck up on everything they do. Awesome. So bonus action, anything like that, or you good?
I don't. Yeah, no, I think I'm good. I don't think there's much I can do as a bonus action.
Cool. Honu.
Attack. This one.
The one
Yeah, the one
on the
closest.
bridge or the one on land? Okay, yeah, gotcha. So 21, obviously going to hit. See how much damage you're going to do.
Not raging.
So 8 points of damage is enough, though. And he just falls off the edge. And
Movement to go in. To here. And rage, because there's far too many goblins in here.
they need to be gotten rid of. So this guy is going to he sort of like flares out his nostrils, says something goblin, and is going to fire. Let's see. I think the one who's done the actual jobby. Yeah, firing at you, Honu. That is going to be a 17 to hit. Only 4 points of piercing damage, reduced to 2, thanks to your rage. And then he is going to move just back one space. And that is going to be his turn. Nail him.
Okay. Let's have a look, see what she has. She got anything raged?
If she has Sacred Flame, that's probably the default thing to do. I'm not sure, but
no, she hasn't got Sacred Flame.
She's got it. Okay.
No, she will move into the room, and the closest hobgoblin. She'll use another one of her spell slots and say, "You are disgusting," and guiding bolt.
Okay. Is that north or south?
The southern one. This one.
Coolio. All right, 22 hits, 15 points of radiant damage. He is hanging on by a thread. As this bolt of radiant energy fires out towards him. And I'll give you a little indicator. He is glowing. Next attack has advantage against him. And he does not look very good. One of it is, you see he drops his longbow and is like holding onto one arm with the other as there's like blood pouring down his left arm. Awesome. That'd be Naylin. Astrid.
I'm gonna move out a turn so I can see what's going on. Wonderful. I'm going to. Yeah, I'm going to. Oh, this is going to be a bad idea. No, it's not. It's fine. I'm going to shoot the guy over there with the orange thing.
Mm-hmm.
And hope for the best.
So it's the one that's been guiding bolted, right?
Yeah.
Unfortunately, even with advantage, 10 is going to miss. You sail past. He's like currently limping. Appears to be turning. He does not want to be here for much longer. And you were expecting him to stay still and fight. He just starts turning around, and you're unable to get a hit on him.
I'm going to bonus action hide behind Holly.
Okay.
Big shell, big hide. Cool.
Awesome. So you roll a stealth check, and then it will be this hobgoblin's turn. So he is going to step up to here. And let's see. I think he's going to fire it. It's now seeing Naylin step up. See, he gets this like snarling look on his face, like he has been personally insulted, and is going to make an attack against her. Let's see, with a minus D4. Oof, that is going to miss. He goes to hit, but there's just some kind of mist over his eyes, and it sails off into the darkness. And I believe... No, he doesn't get that. And then he's going to look at his ally and sort of like grunt and get in front of him. Then Erwin.
So, Erwin is going to crawl along the wall. 15, 20,
Sorry.
30, I think.
Yep.
Which should mean he's within 25 foot, he's within 30 foot, so he's going to cast web on the guy trying to run away.
Okay. A 21 is definitely going to hit. Or is it a roll to hit, or is it a...
It's a roll to hit.
Okay, yeah, so you hit... He is restrained, and it's an action to try and tear out? Oof, nice.
Yep.
Okay, so he is restrained. See, he immediately like turns to run, and like he gets pinned up against that the rock that seems to be holding up the ceiling in the eastern side of this cavern. He's just like desperately trying to free himself, but unfortunately unable to do so. Well, we'll find out if he's unable to do so, but I have a bad feeling. Right. That is your turn. This goblin is going to 1, 2, 3, 4. Move over here. And he's going to... Actually, he's going to go on this space. And he's going to hide. Bonus action. See... Oh, actually... Yeah. He doesn't look very stealthy. You'll see him, like, behind this with a scimitar, at a dog slicer at the ready. Similarly raring to go. But otherwise, doesn't do very much on his turn. 1 sec. And then back up to the top, Armorer.
I'm gonna Eldritch Blast this one.
Okie dokie.
No, I'm not. I'm gonna Vicious Mockery.
Okay.
I'm gonna say, in his head, I'm gonna say to him so he understands me. You're defending shit.
Okay, wisdom saving throw from this guy. Let's see. You see he like bows his head, and you, even though this isn't how it works, you get a telepathic reply. I know. And he takes 3 points of psychic damage.
Now I feel sorry for him.
Yeah, you should.
Lonely
Okay,
Hearts
so-
column music starts to play.
Okay, awesome. So that is your turn. Onu.
So if he survives long enough, he's got disadvantage on his next attack.
Okay, I'll make a note of that. Let's see.
So 35 feet. He's going to take a lance to the face. Hopefully. Not
Oh,
with a
apparently
19.
not.
Please.
Not with a natural 1, I'm afraid.
I can't even use reckless.
Not retroactively, I'm afraid.
No.
You sail the lance into the thing, and for a second you're like, shit, because it falls into the chasm, but then you remember it's got the chain, and you manage to slop it back up into a hand.
Because it does that and I miss, I go into my shell.
Okay, you thunk, as a bonus action, you go prone on the floor in your shell. I need to... Actually, wait, do I have like a shield icon that I can... Yeah, shield up. There you go. That's your shell icon. Okay, cool. So you do that. Then it is the hobgoblin who is currently restrained and on 1 hit point. So let's see. It's action DC 12, AC 10, HP 5. Okay, he is going to. Let me do some maths really quick. Oh, he needs to roll an 11 once. Okay, this guy is going to reach down with his blade and try and cut himself free. Let's see. And he tears himself free. Unfortunately, doesn't get to use his action to do anything too exciting. And sort of limps out of sight, muttering as he does. And
Of course, that attack was at disadvantage, yeah? 'Cause he was restrained.
oh shit! Yeah. Okay. Then it was. I was only a 12. Oh, AC 10. No, it does hit. God. But yeah, thankfully only AC 10. But he didn't get to go very far on account of having to use his action to do so. That is a crying shame. So then it's Nalin.
I'm just reading one of her things. So, 5 feet. Shite. No. 60 feet. Okay. I don't know what this really does. I've never really heard of this spell, but Harrow. The
Harrow, yeah, that's kind of like a Toll the Dead style thing, except it's a wisdom save, I believe.
Yeah, so this one.
Cool. So he is both disadvantaged on next attack and baned and harrowed. And okay, so he has minus 2d4 on his next attack roll, ability check or saving throw, and disadvantage on his next attack. My guy's not going to have a very good time. Well, let's see if he actually succeeds first. He probably won't. No, he does not. So that is 1d4 psychic damage, so roll 1d4. Points of damage. He is just like, he drops his sword, his longbow, sorry, and just like, oh. As he is just pelted with his own mental abuse, apparently. I've run out of tokens to indicate that he's having a very bad time. I'll give him a big red dot. That'll work. It's all the bad ones. So Nalin reaches out a hand, and this like ultraviolet light scatters across him, and you see this, like, it hits him in the eyes, and he just like contemplates his own existence for a moment. Then it is Astrid.
Right, I'm going to go around, Honu, and onto the bridge.
Okay.
3, 4. I can get to there.
Sweet.
Can I see the idiot hiding behind the one pole?
Yes, you do see him. You do see him do something, in fact. You see him try and chop the rope down. 1 second. So,
We'll be having that, will we?
let's see. Each rope has 8 hit points and AC 11. Okay, so of the 2 ropes supporting the bridge, one of them goes twing and is now loose. So you are hanging on. Right, let's see. Stay structurally exposed. So you need to make an acrobatics check, please.
Bum, bum, bum.
Okay, so you can only make it to there, I'm afraid, because without reaching a 10 you cannot travel at full speed, but you didn't, most of your movement wasn't on the bridge anyway, so you're not too bad. And you didn't fail by 5 or more, so you're okay. Well, it's looking a bit precarious, we'll say that. You're now dangling on 2 ropes rather than 3. And yeah, that's that. Cool. Sweet. Yep. So your action and such.
Well, I'm going to. I'll use my short bow because that's got the best at the moment. That'll do. No sneak with that. Oh, for Mary, mother. Right, no.
Which one are you attacking? Top or bottom?
Top.
Okay, he didn't see you, so that one actually has advantage. So a 14. That does hit, yeah, because he didn't have a shield out. So
have sneak as well.
Yes, it would have sneak attack as well.
That's another 1d6. Yeah.
Which at minimum is 7, and 7 points is enough to kill him. Only goblin. You start like running across this, and you see he was paying so much attention to when he should chop the rope that he completely forgot to pay attention to when someone was going to try and kill him. So he chops and goes, and then you put a bolt straight through his head, and he dies.
Cool. I'm gonna then put the bow back on my back, and I'm going to. Oh, this is gonna be stupid. I'm gonna bonus action hide and try and like
Okay.
twing myself under the bridge.
Okay.
So I get a bit
You like
cover.
cling on and swing on the underside of it. Okay. Sure.
And just
so
hold on for dear life.
Okay, sure. Make a stealth check. You'll find out soon enough if it is gonna work, I guess. So this hobgoblin, with a minus 2d4 and disadvantage on his next attack roll. He's gonna prioritize the elves. I think he's gonna fire it. Nailin again. Why not? Okay, so he rolled total of 7, and just like this very deep sigh comes over him. And he steps one step closer to the edge. And Erwin, it's your turn.
Okay, so I'm going to continue walking around 5, 10, 15, 20, 25, 30.
Mm-hmm.
And then can I somehow use my web attack to try...
And like lasso him into the crevasse?
No, I was going to try and target the bridge, but I think I'm just going to wait until I'm next to it. I think that makes more sense. So yeah, no, I'm just going to web him and try and not let him drop.
Okay, cool.
I want him on solid ground.
Sweet, yep, 22. He also restrained.
Yeah, that's me.
Awesome. So from the knees down, there is just silk wrapped around him, and he sort of like snaps back a little bit. Now the harrow and the what was the other one? There was Harrow, Bane, and Vicious Mockery. That's it. Now Vicious Mockery and Harrow have worn off. He's sort of snapped back, and he's only feeling a little bit awful. Not as bad. Onra
Is AFK.
is AFK. He will Vicious Mockery again. We'll say. Still wisdom save for this dude. Do.
I'm here.
Oh, you're here!
Why can't I? Why is no one listening?
On account of the muted mic, I'd imagine.
I wasn't muted.
Well, I didn't hear you.
Nope.
But you're right. I'm gonna vicious mockery. I was just talking about what's going. Everyone's ignoring me. Oh, he's not here. Well, he's probably gonna vicious. No, I'm here. Listen to me, everybody.
But that is what I'm gonna do. Okay, he takes 3 points of psychic damage.
It's a
As he moans about his mic being muted.
Oh, I take, yeah.
And he, let's see, yeah, he takes that damage and is now sort of like realizing he's in a bit of a predicament. He's like 6 inches from the edge of a very lethal drop, with his feet webbed to it, and if like a stiff breeze could knock him down, and he would fall very far.
Can I telepathically say to him, "Drop your weapons and lie down on the floor"?
He drops his weapons and then like wiggles his legs. He can't lie down. His feet is like he's stuck to the floor.
Just fall backwards.
He does like a trust fall just onto solid earth.
Yeah.
So,
Oh, that's awesome. I like that.
it's handy. I spent so long trying to figure out what like token icon I could use for being prone. But then I realized you can just like turn the token upside down. It's very handy. So he lands on the ground and his feet are still like he's still restrained, but he is now restrained and prone and baned. And that is that. So, Honu.
You kind of see Hanu's head peek out of the shell, bonus action out of his shell. Now this bridge.
Mhm.
it-
Bridge is a strong word.
I mean, it's probably not going to take my weight, right?
You wouldn't want to risk it.
Yeah, I didn't think so.
Can I cast minor illusion to make it look like the rope's tied again on all 3 points?
Okay.
I mean, the bridge itself still doesn't look like it would hold my weight.
Yeah, it is. It is sketchy to say the least. Make a perception check.
Do.
So you see this bridge. It might take your weight, but it would be you're really going to be rolling the dice on it. What you do see, however, to your direct north and direct south, there are secret doors in the walls. There's a door-shaped divot around the stonework that doesn't line up with the rest of the stonework around you, and you wager that, in looking at the floor, there's like scrape marks indicating that there would be secret door or doors that open in that area.
Okay. And why are we not finishing this guy off? Are we gonna? Is there a plan? Have I missed something?
We're not killers.
Yeah,
They said after killing 2
it's a
people.
goblin.
3 people, actually.
Yeah. Okay. Well, no one's told me otherwise. So Hano, because his hatred for goblin folk, will. Right.
So it is both. It's a disadvantage because of the range. Oh, sorry, the range because he's prone, but advantage because he's restrained. So it's just a flat roll.
Okay. What if I do it recklessly?
Then yeah, fuck it, advantage. Why not? Technically, that's not how it works, but why not? 20. Yep.
Still raging, so yeah.
He's
11
pinned
points.
to the ground, and it takes a bit of extra heft to try and get your spear back the second time. Good luck, sorry.
No worries.
Is he done? Right.
And I move up to this door.
Okay. So you have enough movement. You can crack it open if you'd like.
Yeah, I give
It's
it a
not-
crack.
Sweet. Are you
I just want to partially open it just in case.
sure? Yeah, you crack it open. You don't hear anyone like, directly on the other side. You do hear goblin voices down the hallway. Do you want to open it to the point where you can see, or just like so you can check it's there?
Sure, why not?
Cool.
Let me do it because I'm still a hobgoblin.
Honu swings the door open, turns around and goes, "There's a door here." And 1, 2, 3. You hear Honu as a hobgoblin whirls around that corner, points at you, sees Amra like behind you, and says, as if he.
I'll give him a thumbs up. I'll give him a thumbs up and say yes in his head. Well done.
Yes, attack him. Okay. He fires an arrow at Honu. That is going to be a 19 to hit for 5 points of piercing damage, reduced to 2 because you're raging. And let me make sure he's actually on the turn where he should be, because GM layer initiative is weird. And then from the south side, you hear much the same. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Another secret door. Well, one of the ones that Honu saw but did not open, swings about and stood in place. Is another hobgoblin, the one that you did that weird like stand in front of in the arrow slit situation thing. And he looks at you like, what? And then sees the corpses and it like, doesn't quite know what to do. So he's just going to like ready in action with a longbow, like pointed at you, like demand. You get the impression he's demanding what the fuck is going on. And if anything bad happens to him, he's going to try and shoot you.
Can I just do that classic 90s sitcom of shrugging the shoulders? I don't know.
Oh, yeah, sure. Okay. Sure. He adjusts slightly, so he's now pointing at Naylin. His name.
Does he just stand there and just go, "Oh, Armin Ra,"
Oh, you. What are you like?
and we all just start laughing?
He was
And
catching
then the
one
credits
liner.
start rolling. Yeah. Executive producer Brad Bird. Yeah. All that. So, Naylin's turn.
Hearing a door open, she would probably react to that. So, the one by Armin Ra. Let's have a look. Let's see what she can do. I think it's another spell. Yeah. She's going to step up and use. Where is it? Word of Radiance, is it?
Okay. Word of Radiance. Is that an attack?
Each creature
Oh no. Okay. Oh no. It's a
creature
Constitution save, right?
range. Constitution saving throw. Yeah.
He fails.
So.
So 3 points of radiant damage. Awesome. Does it do anything else? Word of Radiance? Or is it damages like everyone that can hear it or something? Because I know all cantrips have like.
Well, it says range 5 foot, but it doesn't seem right. But
See.
because it says each
Oh
creature
yeah,
you
because
see.
Okay. So basically, you say it, and all enemies within 5 feet are affected by it. So that's why it only does 1d6 damage. Is because it can affect
multiple people.
hypothetically up to 8 people.
You utter a divine word, a burning radiance erupts from you. Each creature of your choice that's within range must succeed or take 1d6 radiant damage.
Okay, yeah. So the joy of that one is you can hit multiple people at once, basically. But he got 6 on his Constitution, takes 3 points of radiant damage, and as he is attacked, he is going to attack back with a long sword. Misses. Wow, rolling fucking spicy today. Anything else on Naylin's turn?
I don't know if she has any bonus actions. I don't think she does. No, she doesn't. Not as far as I can see. So no, that'll be her turn.
Okay. Awesome. Astrid, so you're on the underside of this road bridge. Not going great. So the way this is going to work, while you're crossing just crossing, you can voluntarily move at quarter speed, and you don't have to make a check. Or you can make an acrobatics check, DC 12. DC 12. If you succeed, you move at half speed. If you fail, you don't move at all. If you fail by 5 or more, you have to make a strength or dexterity saving throw. If you fail, you're going down. It's up to you.
And if I fail completely, I go down, even if I'm on the right side of the bridge.
What do you mean? So basically, while you're on the rope bridge, because it is just so difficult to keep your balance on, you have to make an acrobatics check to try and move anything faster than. So essentially, first of all, do you want to take a risk and try and move quickly, or you can play it safe and move super slow? Is the easiest way to start it.
What's my acrobatics check like?
I imagine it'd be quite good as a rogue.
That's 5. Oh, it's gonna be fucking done with it.
There's only if you roll a natural 1, only then will you have to make the dex save to avoid falling in. And even then, you get a dex save, and that'll be probably +7 as well.
I'm going across. Cool, yeah. Okay,
Sure. So, acrobatics check.
Okay, cool.
23. Okay, yeah. So you can move at half speed, so 3 squares. So you can use your movement to get to the edge there, or actually whatever side you want. But yeah, you can you get to that edge over there, and I imagine do the thing that most characters do in a TV show when they've been on a plane for too long and they kiss the floor, say, "I'm never getting on a plane again." So you manage to get back on solid ground, thankfully. You see the goblin in front of you, hobgoblin in front of you, both have seemingly been dealt with. The door in front of you is like sort of coming to a rest as someone has just run through it, and you do hear Honu and Nailin both dealing with people.
Cool. I'm gonna turn around and hold my action to shoot someone with my short bow if I see anyone come through the door.
Sweet. So you kind of like James Bond, like up against the stalactite thing, like up against it. Sweet. And then it is going to be one Erwin. Is it Silverwind? I was going to say Leaf. Silverleaf. It does really freak me out just reading the world wild shapes and thinking, no, that's not his name. Okay, it is your turn.
I'm going to take my movement and go up to the edge of the bridge. And I want to use my action and basically replace the rope that was cut with spiderweb.
Okay, easily done. You actually probably make it stronger than it was before because the rope was in very poor quality and looked after by goblins. And spider silk is pound for pound stronger than steel. So you can set up like a actually reducing the DC from its original, because it was originally 10. Once one rope is broken, it becomes 12. Once 2 ropes are broken, it just like falls. So I'll say you can reduce the DC to 8 to make it a bit easier for other people to cross. And with enough time doing that, even Honu may be able to walk across without risk of dying.
Cool, then I will stay in this position.
Sweet. Umra. So you see this guy to the south is like clashing with Nailin. Guy to the north is firing arrows at Honu.
I'm gonna look at the guy in the south and just say something horrible.
Shiver runs down his spine. He takes 3 psychic damage as he dreads to think what something horrible could be.
Knowing armor, it was really scathing. And I keep forgetting, but I'm going to give Nailin inspiration, bardic inspiration.
Okay,
Say,
Nailin
you can do it, Nailin. You can do it. Go on, girl. Get in there.
I'll give. Let's see, what's these going to work? I think some floaty red hearts, that should do. You inspire Nailin. Pat on the back. Lovely stuff. Honu.
Hanu will use his movement to hold on one moment. Work out how far I can go. Yeah, just there. So we'll leave a little gap. We'll come to here and say, "What are you waiting for? Come and get some." And lance to the face of the one at north. If 14 will hit.
14 is going to hit because he is not using a shield. So, damage on that is 17 points damage. You just like pin him to the wall behind him. Come get some, and then you fucking scorpion get over here, just kill him in one hit.
And then I kind of really aggressively turn my head to the one that's in front of Nailin and just give him a really mean look.
Yeah, you turn, so it's just like he just
my head moves,
like
my shell doesn't move. Yeah, literally.
Yeah, so you're looking back over the shoulder, you just see one eye. There's this little red glint in it, almost. He's silhouetted against the flames. Mm-hmm. He does not look too excited. On his turn, he is going to. I think he's not seeing a way out of this that doesn't involve him dying. He's just going to go try and attack Nailin. Misses. Wow, really rolling well. Nailin's turn, and that's not even with the fucking disadvantage. You've got an 8 disadvantage.
Nailin,
my God.
Okay. I do declare that's not the proper way to treat a lady. And mace to the face, London.
Okay, yeah.
My next character is going to be female.
Oh my God! On the top of his head, just aptly named finality crushes the skull in, and he goes down.
I think
Nicely
her
done.
last word after that would be like, "And now look what you've done. I've got blood on my dress."
I do declare. Oh man, I love it. Brilliant. So you guys get ready, wait for the next bout of combat to start, but silence seems to take the chamber. There's like a dripping noise as someone's blood starts like trickling off of the edge of the crevasse, mixing with the gurgling water below. And
continue strengthening the bridge.
awesome. Yeah, I'll say you can spend like kind of the rest of your time while wild shaped, and you would be able to just strengthen this bridge to the point where no one's going to need to make any checks crossing it. It'll be like in combat you might, because it's a bit precarious to try and dodge and not fall off. But out of combat you can take as long as you need to walk across.
Bagging
So
ears
how
and
long-
taking names.
Taking names.
Do you mean taking ears?
Yeah.
Yeah.
How many?
You can have the hobgoblins, I think. If I'm not mistaken, I believe hobgoblins actually like tattoo their own names into their ears because it's like the equivalent of dog tags for them. So you are, in a sense, for at least the hobgoblins, you're taking their names. You also see a lot of them have like burn marks on their arm, like on the areas where armor would sit.
Yep.
It's like been ritually scarified, so as to make it like tougher skin.
I will also take the skull of the hobgoblin that I killed in the one hit. Yeah.
Okay, yeah, sweet. So you decapitate him. It is a messy endeavor. The oily goblin blood does run all over your hands and stain your shell in some places a rather funny color, but otherwise is all good.
How many goblins on the other side of the ravine, so I can keep a track of these?
So they're in that combat total. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5.
Five
Except one
goblins.
fell into the water.
Yeah, this one.
Yeah,
fell.
that's the one I've just moved over there. So, yeah, and there's the one underneath you as well. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and then there was 6 outside, 7, 8 outside. So 8 plus 2 dog. But you can just count that as 10 because you have successfully deceived them enough.
Can we scout where they came from?
North and south, yes. So you head south. It's a very short corridor. As you go round, you see that it. I don't. Unfortunately, the dynamic lighting won't tell you, but that leads to the arrow slit leading into that like main chamber with the big stairs, the entrance room, if you will. To the north, however, if you were to like start going down there, you hear goblin voices like whispering to one another.
Oh. Honu, there's more goblins. Do you want to chase them out?
With pleasure.
If it's all right, I am conscious of the time. If we leave it as a bit of a cliffhanger. You get ready, tidy yourselves up after this combat. Astrid just like stays on solid ground for as long as you possibly can. The bridge is strengthened with the spider webs, and you go south, check that out, clear. Go north, and you hear these goblin voices as this significantly deeper and angrier voice, even more so than the hobgoblins, speaks out from this chamber that you have not yet seen.
Okay.
I'll move your token up here, Amra. That's what you can see. So to the north a little bit, there is one of those arrow slits, and to the south, another arrow slit alcove. But more than that, you would be putting yourself at
Would
risk.
we say that more than a round turn has passed since this has occurred?
I'm assuming because of how Owen is going around and webbing up the webbing up the bridge to make sure it's not all
So I lose rage.
incredibly dangerous and that sort of thing. The rage will end.
And
Yes.
we collected the ears as well, so
Yeah, and the ears. Yeah. So and also your skull. I'll say you can maintain your rage as long as you're like scalping this hobgoblin. But when you stop doing that, then it's like, oh wow, I just spent like 15 minutes just like tearing flesh off a dude's skull. I need to take a minute. You have to just
Did
like
we
chill
come
out.
across any other artifacts on these goblins while we're here, or is that pretty much?
So on the goblins themselves, you don't find anything. Again, nothing new, nothing too exciting. There is just it's just typical goblin shit. You know, they've got their dog slicers, short bows that they never got to use, set of arrows. Hobgoblins have long swords and are also wearing chainmail. It is goblin style chainmail, so it's still like ratty, but mechanically it's chainmail. You also see to the east there's this doorway, but there's no riches by any means.
Okay.
So let me see. Yeah, no, nothing that's too exciting.
What blades did you say they have?
Long swords, so just regular 1d8. They are stylized like a. They kind of look like a katana, but if it was straighter and more like vicious.
Okay. I don't really see much. If it's just a regular looking sword, then
No, there's not a. It's not immediately obvious that
it's not well designed.
No. It maybe if you're a goblin, you see like, oh wow, this is sick, but it is very standard. It's very bog standard. Like it's of no better quality than your weapons, unless you're like someone who keeps goblin artifacts or whatever. Let's see if I can get a picture. But yes, that is that. And as I said, if that's okay, we've obviously just gone 10:30, so it's about the time for it anyway.
We'll
We'll call the session there.